Welcome to Discover Community Church. So glad that you decided to either join us at one of our watch parties or you're tuning in online. If you're at a watch party, make sure you grab a snack, something to drink, make yourself at home. If you're online, please put your name and where you're tuning in from so that our chat host can properly greet you. Look, here at Discover Community Church, we are known for our love for God, our love for people, and making a difference. So what we're going to have next is our praise and worship. We're going to have a mindful moment, and then we're going to have a word from the Lord. I hope that you are on the edge of your seat. It's going to be an amazing time together, and we're so glad you decided to join us here at Discover Community Church.
I may have fame to my name. I may have everything that life could bring and still remain the same. I may have the house, the cars and jewels and all. I might become a star, but I will always serve, oh serve you. I will always serve you, Jesus. I may be rich, I may be poor, I may be a nominee for the Grammys and win every stellar award. I may have a million friends when it begins. I may just lose them all, but I will always serve, oh serve you. I will always serve you, Jesus. I will always say, in the morning I will say, I will always say, oh, say.
DCC Mindful Moment is a mindfulness practice designed to help us improve our ability to decrease stress, anxiety, and regulate our emotions. This time is intended to help us focus our attention and observe our thoughts and feelings without judgment. We invite you to join us. Find a comfortable position, remove any distractions, and prepare to experience God through our connection with the world around us. Close your eyes. Wherever you are, wherever you find yourself, I want you to recall the last time you felt the sun warm your skin. You stepped out into its yellow rays and were fully aware of your temperature rising. Not uncomfortably so, but in a way you missed. Perhaps it was the first warm day of spring. The air was filled with the scent of oxygen given by plants awakening from their dormant states, springing back to life. With each bud on the tree, the allergens don't bother you yet. You only feel the warm greeting of the sun that powers you. It signals your melanin that it is time to be outside. It's time to recharge. You have been depleted all winter, but the light has found you. Its signals change. Soon, the rhythm of life will invite you outdoors. The days provide more opportunity to renew. You can enjoy long walks well into the evening. The birds are returning, looking to nest as they prepare for new life. You look forward to spotting a young deer, the next generation of the family. The school year is coming to an end, and you have the entire summer in front of you. You may not know which vacation you will find yourself on, but you are determined to be somewhere else. You plan to enjoy every day of this time in the sun, knowing the next autumn will bring more changes, but this change is a change of both activity and rest. It is your activity of choice. For the next few months, you are able to make different choices. Things slow down to allow you to enjoy a different pace. All of these things you look forward to, everything you anticipate, can be described in one powerful word. This word drives us to continue through the cold darkness that greets us at different times. But this time, we focus on the word that propels us toward the next level of better. That word which we feel so deeply is hope. Open your eyes. Let us look forward toward our next opportunity to hope and all that it brings.
Good morning and welcome to Discover Community Church. Again, as always, we are grateful that you've decided to spend this precious time with us. Now, we'll jump right in. For the last 2 times together, we were in a series called Not What I Had Planned. And we were trying to figure out, how do we make it through life's most difficult circumstances without losing our faith? How is it possible to continue to follow God when life gets extremely difficult? And we began talking about some people that God loved. We talk about where we're to look during tough circumstances. And today, I just want to let you know up front who my target audience is. Today, my target audience is those who've been going through something or have gone through something, and those circumstances have battered your faith. Those circumstances have taken you off course. Those circumstances have taken the breath out of your lungs and is now having you look at God differently. That is my target audience today. And I want to encourage you that the feelings that you have, that the doubt that you have, is not abnormal, but it's absolutely normal. Now, I will also admit that the environments that most of us were brought up in, the church environments that most of us were brought up in, would have us to believe that doubt is abnormal. But in this life, and being a follower of Jesus, doubt is normal. Today, I want to talk about someone that Jesus truly respects, that Jesus truly honors, yet his behavior toward them might not look like he does. Now, let me tell you what Jesus says about our subject of the day. Today we're going to talk about John the Baptist. And this is what Jesus says about John the Baptist in Matthew 11:11. He says, "Truly I tell you, among those born of a woman," I think at that moment, that's pretty much everybody, "there has not risen anyone greater than John the Baptist." Jesus wants us to know that John the Baptist, in his eyes, is an amazing person, and that there is none better than John the Baptist. So, John the Baptist finds himself a religious leader in a Roman-controlled environment. And Rome would put paid Jewish leaders in place to carry out the Roman agenda. And one such man is King Herod, and King Herod Antipas marries his brother's wife. He marries his brother's wife, Herodias. And King Herod Antipas takes the brother, marries her, and brings her back to Galilee. Now, to complicate matters even more, the wife that he stole from his brother is also his niece. Yeah. And John decides that this isn't right, because if leadership does it, it gives license to the people to do it. And John begins to speak truth to power and do the right thing by highlighting and bringing the truth to what he believes is not honoring to God. And Mark says that for John had been saying to Herod, it is unlawful for you to have your brother's wife. So Herodias, the wife / niece, nursed a grudge against John and wanted to kill him, but she was not able. She wanted to kill John for being the subject of so many sermons. She wanted to kill John for being the topic of his discussion so many times, and she could not do it. Why couldn't she do it? Because Herod feared John and protected him, knowing him to be righteous and holy. When Herod heard John, he was greatly puzzled, yet he liked to listen to him. Herod understood how popular, how influential John was, and if we kill him, we're going to bring a lot of trouble on ourselves. And so he held his wife back from wanting to kill John. And so she continues to badger her husband, uncle, into look, we've got to do something about John. He's continuing to talk about us. He's continuing to highlight this, and I'm sick of hearing it. And so she got Herod Antipas to throw John in jail. And now John is in jail, and you would think that since Jesus said there's nobody greater than John, that he's going to do something. And Matthew tells us, chapter 4, starting at verse 12, that when Jesus heard that John had been put in prison, he withdrew to Galilee. Leaving Nazareth, he went to live in Capernaum, which was by the lake area of Zebulun and Naphtali. Jesus moved from Galilee to Capernaum. If you're looking at a map, Jesus moves very far from where John is. Now, here's the question. Why would Matthew document this in the gospel? That's a great question, and I'm so glad you asked it. And he's putting in such details. Why would Matthew want to record that the hero is not doing anything heroic? And I believe Matthew writes this because he needs us to understand that we should not, like last message, we shouldn't look at our circumstances, but we should look to an event. Now, John doesn't have an event to look to. We need this story. Have you ever felt that while you're in the midst of your extreme, painful, uncomfortable circumstance, that Jesus feels a million miles away? That's why Matthew writes this. Because many of us have felt the distance that John feels. But there's an expectation. I know John knows who he is. There's one time, John is at the Jordan, and he's baptizing disciples, and Jesus walks up, and he stops the entire baptism ceremony, and he points at Jesus, and he says, "Look, the Lamb of the world who's come to take the sins of the world." He says, this is the one. And he also says, I'm not even worthy to lace up his sandals. And he is sure of who Jesus is. He's convinced of who Jesus is. There's a confidence in who Jesus is. And now he sits and he rots in a prison for doing the right thing. Have you ever felt like you were being punished for doing the right thing? I don't know about you, but I can kind of understand when the consequences of my wrong choice come back to bite me. But when I'm doing the right thing and I'm suffering for doing what's right, surely you're going to rescue me from being punished for doing what's right. And John sits in prison and he's rotting away for doing the right thing. Now, prisons then are not like prisons now. There was no meal program. And so the only way you were going to eat if you were in prison, if you had loved ones who would come on a consistent basis, visit you and bring you some food. And so his disciples are coming and they're bringing him food on a consistent basis. And while they're bringing him food, they're also bringing him tea. Not tea. Okay. They're also bringing him information. And so they're saying, man, Jesus is out preaching these amazing sermons. Let me tell you, one time he was on a mountainside and he was like, blessed be this. And he says, he's also out healing people. There was this blind dude that couldn't see, and Jesus made a little mud plot, put it on his eyes, and he washed it away. And have you ever struggled to be happy for people who are being blessed because you were waiting on one yourself? And I'm sure John is sitting in prison and he wants to be happy for a blind man who can now see. He wants to be happy for a lame man who can now walk. But I'm in need of a blessing too, and I am being punished for doing the right thing. I'm waiting on you to bless me. Ever been there? Ever been there where you really can't be happy for the 30-year anniversary because you're at year 4 and you guys are at each other's neck on a daily basis? Like I want to celebrate you and the wonderful relationship you have with your children, but this is the 3rd rehab I've got to look into for mine. I want to be happy for you and the way you celebrate your kids, but I don't even know where mine is right now. I want to be happy for you and you celebrating retirement, but this is the 4th job I've had to find in the last 5 years. And I want to be happy for your blessing, but I'm waiting on one myself. When is mine coming? Jesus, have you forgot about me? And so, after about a year and a half, John tells his disciples, after they bring him a meal, he says, this is what I need you to do. I need for you to go to Jesus and ask him a question for me. I need for you to ask, and I know that they're sitting there waiting intently. Okay, Jesus, what do you want us to ask? I mean, okay, John, what do you want us to ask Jesus? And he says, get your pen and paper. And they tell him the question. You sure you want us to ask this? in front of everybody. You want us to ask, didn't you say? Gotcha, John. We'll go and ask the question. So Jesus is teaching, and John's disciples make it to the front of the line, and we pick up the story again in Matthew 11, starting at verse 2. And when John, who was in prison, heard about the deeds of the Messiah, he sent his disciples to ask him, "Are you the one who is coming, or should we expect someone else?" Isn't it amazing? I'm guilty of it myself. Isn't it amazing when things are going well, just like John, we could say, "Behold the Lamb of God." I'm confident in who you are. I know exactly who you are. But as soon as our circumstances become dire, as soon as our circumstances become uncomfortable, as soon as our circumstances aren't to our liking, we question who he is. Are you the one? I know I was confident at one point, but are you the one? Because, man, it's been a year and a half, and I hear about all the great things you're doing for other people, and you've done nothing in my situation. Are you the one, or should we expect someone else? And in verse 4, Jesus responds. Jesus replied, "Go back and report to John what you hear and what you see. The blind receive sight, the lame walk, and those who have leprosy are cleansed. The deaf hear, the dead are raised, and the good news is proclaimed to the poor." And I'm sure John's disciples were like, That's what you want us to say? No, we ride at dawn. No, pack your bags. We about to, but that's what you want us to say? And as they begin to walk out, Jesus now focuses on the crowd that's before him. And this is what he says. And I know this isn't preached often, but I'm glad Matthew put it in here. He says in verse 6, he now broadens. He's now not just talking to John's disciples, but he broadens to speak to the crowd. He says, "Blessed in anyone who does not stumble on account of me." Jesus anticipates what we view as his lack of inaction as a reason to stumble, and he encourages them and he encourages us. Don't stumble away because I won't do what you want me to do when you want me to do it. And he says, you are blessed if you don't stumble away because of me. Have you ever stumbled because Jesus didn't do what you just knew he was going to do? Have you ever stumbled because he didn't rescue you when you did the right thing and got punished for it? Or you did the right thing and a negative circumstance came about from you doing the right thing? And Jesus says, blessed is anyone who doesn't stumble because of me, because here's the reality. I'm not always going to do what you want me to do. Now, let's put it all together so we can have some kind of understanding about these messages. In message 1, there's a beloved family of Jesus who Jesus hears of a sickness, delays his going to them, and the one he loves passes away. Lazarus dies. He's prepared, he's buried and placed in a tomb, and Jesus shows up long after the funeral, and the sisters hear it. Martha run out to meet him to express to him her disappointment. Don't miss it. It's okay to be emotionally honest with God. There's no need of bending down and praying these flowery prayers when you have anger. You can express that to God. I tell my kids all the time, and I'm sure the father is the same way. You can say anything to me as long as you are respectful. You can be angry. And Martha shows for us somebody who's emotionally honest. And when you're in a time when you're disappointed in God, it's okay to be emotionally honest with him. The other sister allows her disappointment to make her withdraw from Jesus. And what I said was that we're creating an environment for Marys. And a Mary is somebody who has more question than they do answer. And so we want to create a safe space for Mary, because I've been Mary. Message number 2, the writer of Hebrews tries to get us to understand that no longer do we gauge God's presence and love for us based on our circumstances like the old covenant, but in this new covenant, we base his love and his presence based on an event, the cross. That shows for you his love. And I know it's difficult to look at the cross when sometimes the negative circumstances looms larger. And in today, we see a situation where he could, but he didn't. Because John's story is that it ends in a beheading. Lazarus' story was that Jesus brought him back and gave him to the family. And so here's the reality of following Jesus. There's sometimes he will. And the reality is there's sometimes he won't. And don't stumble away by trying to gauge his love, his attentiveness based on your circumstance, when he says the cross has already proven that I love you and I'm here for you. I pray that this series of messages will encourage you in a time of extreme difficulty. I've been there. I've gone through my own. And Jesus says, blessed is anyone who does not stumble away because of me. Get it? Got it? Good. Family, I love you, and I pray that this season will be over for you. I pray he rescues you like Lazarus. But even if he doesn't, I pray you look at the events of the cross and understand that he loves you, and he's there for you. God bless you, and I'll see you all real soon.
Oh my goodness. That was such an amazing word. I'm so glad that we all had a chance to sit here and listen to it, and that we take this to heart and we live this out in our daily lives. Look, we got a couple of more things for you. We want to make sure that you understand how to stay connected with us as we leave. So you can follow us on all of our social media platforms at Come Discover Us. We'll also be doing offering, and if you feel free to give, then you can give at comediscover.org. Also, we'll have some further announcements about ways that you can participate with us as a community. You'll also be able to sign up for watch parties if you're in the Maryland or Virginia area at comediscover.org as well. Look, here at Discover Community Church, we meet twice a month. We meet on first Sundays and third Sundays, okay? So make sure you go to our website and sign up so that you and your family can come. We have things for the kids as well, so bring the kiddos. We're going to have a great time together. And thank you for joining us here at Discover Community Church. For those who are at a watch party, hold tight. We'll have a hangout for 30 minutes to discuss anything that you would like to talk about, as well as the message for today. We will see you next time, and we can't wait to hug your neck or send you a message here at Discover Community Church.
Good morning and welcome to Discover Community Church, where we love God, love people, and make a difference. We're so happy you joined us today. Please stay tuned for this week's announcements. Discover Community Church is here, and here's what you can expect. Join us every first and third Sunday for our worship services. You can tune in online or join us in person at one of our watch parties in Maryland or Virginia. Watch parties are an opportunity to meet the Discover family in person and watch the service stream together. Registration is required. Second and fourth Sundays are self-care Sundays. This is your day to recharge. Spend the day with family and friends, get some rest, catch a movie, or do whatever fills your cup. Every fifth Sunday is our service Sunday, where we'll host community outreach events, giving us another chance to gather and impact our communities. We can't wait to welcome you to our irresistible church.
What's up, guys? My name is Caleb from the Virginia campus. DCC Kids, we meet first and third Sundays during our watch parties. Hope to see you there.
Are you connected? To stay up to date on all the latest Discover Community Church news and events, go to comediscover.org to fill out our connection form and follow us at Come Discover Us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Your generous donations make a huge impact and allow us to host our fifth Sunday service projects, sponsor community events, and make donations to local schools and our nonprofit partners throughout the year. Our community outreach is greater because of you. If you align with what Discover Community Church is doing and would like to make a contribution, there are several ways to give. Contributions can be made by text to give, Cash App, Tithely, PayPal, and Breeze. Go to comediscover.org to donate. Show your Discover love by purchasing DCC swag at our online shop, where you'll find all kinds of Discover branded merch. Be sure to check back often, as we'll be releasing new designs throughout the year. Go to comediscover.org to shop. Join us for an Easter celebration and Service Sunday project on Sunday, March 31st in Waldorf, Maryland. Maryland and Virginia will come together for a joint service with live music, fellowship, food, and a Service Sunday project to benefit our community partners Serve in Virginia. We are collecting food and toiletries to help Serve continue to provide these essential items to the Stafford community. There will be 2 opportunities to drop off your donations. Saturday, March 30th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. in Stafford, Virginia, or Sunday, March 31st at our 11 a.m. Easter service in Waldorf, Maryland. Sign up today using the QR code or at comediscover.org to let us know you're coming and what items you'll be donating to our service project. We look forward to seeing you there. Discover is partnering with Patuxent Elementary School in Upper Marlboro, Maryland to help execute several student celebration events throughout the school year. These events will take place during the school day, and we are requesting volunteers to help make it happen. If you are available and interested in volunteering at one of the upcoming events, please reach out to our Director of Engagement at cornelius.berkeley@comediscover.org for more details. We are looking for volunteers for Friday, March 22nd, Friday, April 26th, and Friday, May 24th. How are we doing? Where are we headed? What's next for Discover Community Church? To hear from our leadership on these questions and more, please save the date for our church business meeting on Thursday, April 11th from 6:30 to 8 o'clock p.m. We will recap our leadership retreat and share our plans for 2024 and beyond at this informative online session. Keep an eye out for the registration and event links in the coming weeks. We are celebrating amazing mothers in our community, and we need your help. Do you know an amazing mother who goes above and beyond for her family? Consider nominating her for our Amazing Mothers Outreach. The Maryland nominees will have a chance to win a 30-minute massage from Nava Physical Therapy, and Virginia nominees will have a chance to win a spa pedicure courtesy of Nail Fetish Lounge. To nominate an amazing mother, use the QR code to complete the form and tell us why she deserves this special treat. Please submit your nominations no later than April 12th. We've worked hard, now it's time to play. Both campuses are meeting up at AMF Waldorf Lanes on Sunday, May 19th from 1 to 3 p.m. for an afternoon of bowling, food, and fun to celebrate our second church anniversary. Bring your A game and get ready for a great time. Admission is $20 per person for kids and adults and will cover your admission, shoe rental, 2 hours of bowling, food, and soft drinks. The registration deadline is May 10th, and we look forward to celebrating with you. Registration is open for this year's Black and Missing Hope Without Boundaries 5K Run Walk, and we'd love for you to join Team Discover. The event will kick off at 8 o'clock a.m. on Saturday, June 1st at National Harbor. The Hope Without Boundaries 5K Run Walk is the largest fundraising event held by the Black and Missing Foundation to help bring awareness and exposure to the hundreds of thousands of reported missing persons of color across the country. Proceeds from the event will go towards funding for families of the missing, flyer distribution, financial support, victim recovery, and burial service assistance. Follow the QR code to register for this important event today.